We want you to know there is a groundswell of people, all ages and walks of life, who are concerned that we are rapidly losing our constitutional rights.
Yes, Mel McGinnis, Frewsburg, New York. I want to speak in favor of the proposition that was told to us from Cheryl Feidler to have our county be declared a sanctuary county for our Constitution.
As she spoke, she talked about the triangle of power. I'm going to diagram it. Very simple. When you look at our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, you see a big C. That stands for citizen. Our government was established so that the citizen is big. Government is small. Over time, you see the triangle change a bit. The G gets bigger. Government's getting bigger. And the citizen is getting smaller. When we witnessed COVID and all the restrictions and regulations that were poured down upon us from the feds, the CDC, and especially Albany and Cuomo, there was something else that uniquely happened. The triangle was actually tipped. And as you see the triangle, the government gets even bigger. And notice what happens to the citizen. Really not a citizen. The S stands for subject. We're witnessing in our society, in our state, government taking such control that I feel like the citizens, having freedom, are now subjects of Cuomo's regulations, limitations, executive power that I feel were abused. So that's why I'm up here standing in favor of what Cheryl Feidler brought regarding we want to make Chautauqua County a sanctuary county for the Constitution. I know we're small compared to New York City and the boroughs, but we can use our voice to send a message in a way that we stand for freedom. And we stand for that freedom whether it's in religious activity, whether it's in Second Amendment rights, whether it's in free enterprise. Free enterprise, the small businesses have been choked here in our county, and we want to release that stranglehold that Albany has put on us.
We want you to know there is a groundswell of people, all ages and walks of life, who are concerned that we are rapidly losing our constitutional rights. I will read a petition. It's modified from one done in Cattaraugus County that's been circulating, and we've only just begun. It's not a, quote, formal petition at this time, but we rapidly got over 500 signatures, and we will present them to you after I read the petition for the record. We, the undersigned, petition the county legislature to engage in active steps to protect the civil liberties of the citizens of Chautauqua County, New York. The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are endowed by our Creator. The rights to assemble, speak, worship, petition the government for redress of grievances, to keep and bear arms, to possess and use private property, and to pursue one's livelihood without restrictions on mobility and travel are protected by our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. To preserve these rights, Americans voluntarily give certain powers to the government. Civil liberties cannot be taken away or diminished by the government without due process of law. Between an authoritarian state, and we the people stand two entities, law enforcement, in particular county sheriffs, and legislatures. We acknowledge that county legislatures have been placed in a difficult position. Both the elected and unelected autocrats and bureaucrats at the state and federal level can use you as pawns to enforce their orders. Like us, you are expected to do what you are told or suffer the consequences. We are in a place of less freedom, not more fear, not less. Our concerns include the Second Amendment gun rights, the defund the police movement, mandatory masks, COVID passports, and the enforcement of mandatory vaccines, especially for our children. The Nuremberg Code in 1947 outlawed requiring medical treatment of human beings without their informed consent. The public is not allowed to be informed about the dangers of these vaccines, so-called for COVID-19. We ask you to stand for us and with us and declare Chautauqua County a constitutional sanctuary. Declare through the power of the legislature that ours is a county that will abide by the letter and spirit in the Constitution of the United States of America. Affirm through the power of the legislature that this is a county which stands for the rights to assemble, to speak, to worship, to petition the government for redress of grievances, to keep and bear arms, to pursue our livelihoods unencumbered by burdensome government mandates and intervention. Stand through the power of the legislature for the concepts of liberty and private property, acknowledging that the government has no constitutional right to force citizens to close their businesses, to shelter in place, or to restrict the mobility and participation of citizens who refuse to be injected with a vaccine against their will. Nullify through the power of the legislature mask mandates and the punishments you have been forced to lay upon the backs of citizens by agents of the local health department. Announce to the citizens of this county, the power holders in Albany and Washington, D.C., and to the entire world that here is a county that stands for those rights.
Free enterprise, the small businesses have been choked here in our county, and we want to release that stranglehold that Albany has put on us.